like watching shogi, but you don't like playing it, well then today's slang term, mirusho, is just the one for you. Now to give some context, I encountered this term from this 2023 list of ryukogo. Now I personally have a lot of issues with this list. First and foremost, I don't think a lot of these are what I would consider to be fashionable terms. For instance, number 11 is oshinoko, which is just the show / manga. It's not a term, it's a media product. Likewise, number 1, I'm wearing pants, is just this thing a Japanese comedian says, and number 2 is a Japanese band. They're really good, but I don't think a band is a go. I think they're a bando. And then some of the words on this list are just people's names. Case in point, number 24. Now, this is Sota Fujii, who, if you're not familiar with, basically was talk of the town in Japan for his incredible exploits in the game of shogi. At the end of 2023, he became the first person ever, not the first person in recent memory, but the first person ever to earn all 8 shogi titles, which in simple terms basically means he won all 8 of the big tournaments that were held that year, which is obviously an incredible feat. The best players are at these tournaments, and usually even the best lose 1 or 2. As, unsurprisingly, Fuji began seeing more and more discussion in the news, more and more people were like, hey, maybe I'll check out this shogi thing. Just like how, for instance, the show Queen's Gambit, while fictional, definitely caused a boom in interest in chess in the same way. This led to the creation of the 27th word on that list I showed you earlier, which is mirusho, because understandably, while a lot of people were interested in shogi, they didn't really have the time or the interest to play it, but they liked watching it. And mirusho is therefore a person who mirus shogi, as in a observer rather than a player. So when this person here, for instance, notes that they were able to meet a lot of shogi players this year, but called themselves a mirusho and a kakusho, they are saying that they don't play the game, they just watch it and draw illustrations of it. From what I can tell, that kakusho term is not one that's very popular, but, you know, why not play with language while you're playing with language? That said, a mirusho doesn't have to just be a person, it can also be the literal activity of miruing shogi. So, for instance, this person here talks about how they had a very shogi-filled year, they met Hiroki Taniai, and watched their unnamed shogi Oshi win a tournament. As a result, they had fun doing various mirusho. So, not had fun as a mirusho, but doing mirusho. So a very flexible term. You can be a mirusho, or you can do a mirusho. And if that last post made you think, wait, maybe the first posts were actually referring to the activity as well, let me show, you an unequivocal example where mirusho does mean person. This post here, the person refers to themselves as watashi no you na mirusho, or a mirusho like myself. While there's no question that this mirusho term is seeing its heyday due to the popularity of shogi at the moment in Japan, it is actually not a term that was invented this year by any means. I can find uses on Twitter going all the way back to 2010, and Google Trends actually looks kind of similar. Again, this doesn't mean this is the first use, but at least the first times that it became prominent enough on the internet that it easily came up in searches and that people were searching for it. That said though, obviously looking at that Google Trends, there's no question that's gone up and up and up and up quite recently. Now in contrast though, if you actually play shogi rather than just watching it, you would call yourself a sasusho. You can see these terms contrasted in this post here, where someone talks about their journey moving from a mirusho to a sasusho as they went from just watching the game to actually playing it. There's even this interesting post here, which posits that mirusho call the pro player sensei, but sasusho, or people that are actually playing the game, have trouble doing it, implying a somewhat interesting linguistic divide between these two groups. And that's basically it. Thank you for mirroring this show.